How's it going, everyone? I'm the JJ, welcome back to Anna Mondays. We're doing a really weird one this week, and let's hop right into it. If you may have noticed, I might not have my hat this time. I forgot it, but the thing is, I want to point out that somebody mentioned that I have a helmet rather than hair, and while that's all good and dandy, I honestly genuinely think that I'm more akin to Gary Oldman in The Fifth Element. And I always get my man. But yeah, anyway, we'll move right into it. We're doing Fritz the Cat today, 1972. And if you've heard this before, it's probably not for the right reasons. This movie, well, this is the weirdest movie I ever watched. And put it this way, the movie we're doing later in the week for Saturday is going to be Sausage Party. And I thought that was the weirdest movie I've ever seen. Then I watched this. You know, it's real funny that I picked these two, because they have a lot of parallels. Unbridled orgy scenes for no reason. You could probably classify both at some points in the movie as pornographic. So we'll just hop right into the movie. We start with a construction crew made up of a hippo, a dog, and a pig, fitting the stereotype. The overweight hippo, the dog, men are dogs, and the pig, that one's self-explanatory, he's a pig. And they're just spouting this crass ideologies, and basically, it's this nice little metaphor right at the beginning, just like, oh, I get it, people are actually going to relate to their animals and stuff like that, and then later on you meet cops that are pigs, and that's actually kind of commendable. I really like that. Another weird parallel to Sausage Party. So the movie transitions from one of those guys up on the girder peeing, he's just pissing, and just that stream that's falling turns to like this golden dust. I'm not kidding. And then we get our opening, we get our title sequence and all that stuff. And it's the weirdest fucking transition in the history of movies. Like, fucking, like, period. The weirdest. There does not get weirder. Well, the opening was actually complete non sequitur. It really doesn't come back. There's like nothing to do with the actual movie. We then, after the opening sequence, go halfway across town, again, non sequitur, complete detour, to Fritz the Cat, who's in the park with his friends. And just, why did we have to do that? There's a big problem with this movie. The audio. The audio is just, it's old quality audio, so it's already bad, but I honestly think not only is it old quality, it's just really bad audio. It sounds like some of the people, like, literally, and I'm not making it, oh, they didn't care. No, they literally, like, phoned in their performances in some cases. It sounds terrible. In fact, some cases, I can't even hear what's being said. So I'll mention those in the review, but like 5 minutes of the movie altogether is just yeah, like that. I have no idea what like that is. You didn't fucking say it. Just muffled noise. In this case, it's the Tommy Chong friend. I don't think not the rabbit, the other one. So his crew in the park all try to impress ladies while singing an awful song, and I mean it. It's awful. I don't even know if that's due to sound quality or not. It just was like, this is chaos, the song, and not in a good way. But they refuse to give them the light of day. They walk by, go over to this crow, who, in this movie, crows represent African Americans. And in this movie, everyone else, for some reason, are white people. And we start doing all this racism talk, reverse racism in this case. Oh, did you know that when a black family moves in, property skyrocket and stuff like that? And it's like, whoa. You know, I can't believe you're as calm as they actually say you are and stuff like that. It's like, whoa, this is a thing? This is from the 70s. This is cool that I watched this, right? And that actually brings to a point that I really want to mention. I feel like a lot of people in today's society really should watch this movie. I think they would genuinely, a lot of these messages still ring true today. And if you were to just post this movie on Tumblr, it would fit right the fuck in. Maybe not agreed with all the time, but it would fit in with a conversation. People agreeing on Tumblr. What am I, fucking stupid? Oh yeah, one of my favorite lines in this part of that whole, like, racism point was, why does James Earl Jones only get to play black men? Is she fucking serious? Maybe because he's a black man? So Fritz winds up playing the tragedy card. He sees that the crow shuts down the group of girls, so he walks up, tries to, you know, be the sly cat. I guess that's kind of the reference there. Comes in, and just sort of like, yeah, what was me? Kind of if you grew up in the 2000s and you're actually like growing up, emo kids, same idea. Got all the women, got none of the respect. But they're playing the tragedy card so that the women would feel bad for them, and they start following him, and he starts like spouting off like, oh, I've had many a men and many a women and laid many a... He just keeps going through this tale, this Shakespearean sonnet, so to speak, of just, I'm truly the best man, and it's just... He lures them all the way to this drug den. It's the most awkward thing in the world. I told you, this movie is awkward as shit. So he pulls them to this drug den, and then the second he rips their clothes off, and I saw animal nipples, this was the weird... everything else I say is gonna be awkward, so... I do think this movie has some charm, like when they're following him and he's doing the woe is me, it's just, oh, my life is misery, my life is woe, how dare anything, oh, I'm gonna die one day and it'll be nothing, it means nothing because I am nothing. And then as he's saying that, like one of the girls walks up to him and it's just like, hey, where do we do it? Try not to interrupt me, okay, sweetheart? Oh, woe is me, he just goes right back into it. Classic comedy moment. As I mentioned, they're in this drug den, they're all in this tub. They all get put in this tub together because it's the only room left in the house. The guy's already doing like a meeting or whatever. And it's just really weird. All of this weirds me. I'm not like closed off about sexuality and stuff, but like this made me feel like I should be. Cops are represented as dumb pigs and they come to break up the fun in the movie, and they're really only there for comedic relief, maybe like to elongate the plot, to push him, Fritz the Cat, where he needs to be, maybe a MacGuffin. There's very little purpose to them, and that's really one of the major negatives I'd like to start this movie off with, but at the same time, they are doing what they need to do. They add a level of comic relief. That being said, at the same time, I feel like the comic relief is Koenma Blue Ogre Yu Yu Hakusho levels bad, where it's just, oh, comedic bits. But when this happened, and I've only watched this movie once because I don't think I'm ever gonna watch this fucking movie again, but when I was watching this, when the cops enter, I was like, okay, so this is where the plot kicks in. This is where we hopefully add stakes. This is where we see the movie be more than an orgy of animals. And kind of, not really. A little bit. It actually kicks the plot in, but everything else, it kind of just is like... So a guy pees on one of the cops, to which we then get like a brutality scene of just the cop cracking him with the baton, the blood flies everywhere. It's very visceral, this movie. The nudity, it's you know what the best word? This movie is very raw. Very, very raw. Blood, pee, like bile, brutality, just all, it's a B movie. He's a fugitive now, and that's kind of what the plot is, him running on the lam. Really doesn't feel like there's not really many stakes there, to me at least. It really doesn't feel like there's like, hey, we need to do this or this. It's just, he gets caught like everyone else did, and those girls that show up later were actually in that tub or whatever at the time. I don't remember them getting out, so meaning they got arrested and then they're out by the end of the day, like, no problem. So really this entire movie's kind of for nothing. The cops are just generic comedic relief side characters. Their whole like genre would be like the incompetent ones that are I mean, if you want to know what I mean, just watch the entire synagogue scene. That entire scene is just fuck up after fuck up after fuck up after, oop, Three Stooges, comedic, good, woo! Not that entertaining after a little while. I definitely think that we get an overplay of that, and we also get an overplay of the aerial shots, which happen like 5 fucking times in this movie. What is the like, there's no necessary reason for a camera to be up here, get the nice cityscape, and we keep doing these weird aerial, almost fish shots, fisheye lens, because it's like this weird circular kind of, if you know camera work, you know what I'm talking about. It's that weird, like, magnifying kind of look down at the city, though. In the middle of this movie, we get a random deep message about, like, the search for intelligence not being everything in life. Where it's just like, sometimes if you're just with your face in your book the entire time and you're so busy studying and learning about intelligence, which is honestly, intelligence is used in life, so if you're not even using it, it's useless, and life passes you by, and then you die. The end. Wow. Really existentially depressing. Also, good for this movie to just do that, because I do think this movie lacked an actual kind of substance to it, and then when you get stuff like this, where this feels much more the forum for it than some of our other movies we'll be reviewing this week, with Seth Rogen in it. We cut to a group of crows who also suffer from audio quality. I couldn't hear a word they were saying. They were in like this bar area. Honestly, the only thing I can make out, the quality was so bad, like one of the only things I made out was like, I'm eating peanut butter sandwiches. That's all I made out. Everything else was just nothing. Fritz walks in after a while, which I honestly wanted him to walk in sooner due to the audio quality and sheer rambling feeling of these characters in here. So after he walks in, he's ironically refused service, and I feel like this is supposed to ignite like some sort of conversation, but they don't say anything about it. Like, why not have the crow that likes him, I think his name was Duke, why not have him mention something like, you haven't been served in how many bars, why are you gonna not serve him? Like anything. Have Fritz say that if you don't want to have Duke say that. But there should have been something, some mention of this in the movie. There wasn't. There wasn't. Long story short, Duke winds up saving him from the bartender, who breaks a bottle on, like, the bar and goes to, like, shank him, and it's, whoa! Whoa, this is escalating really quick. Oh yeah, the whole reason that he does save him is, like, the white guilt conversation, and then he like, accidentally causes every billiard ball to go into the fucking holes in order, and it's like, whoa, I'ma buy you a drink. And then we meet Duke, who's honestly one of my favorite characters in this movie. Probably one of the only enjoyable, redeemable, semi-well-written characters in this movie. So the crow and him steal a car, and it fits in the whole... Because Fritz at this point is going through a life crisis of just like, yeah, I'm just gonna go along with whatever, man. I'm just gonna, yeah, live for each moment because I could die or be arrested at any time. Like, that's his whole motto right now. It does come a bit out of nowhere, but that's what we're dealing with, so it all fits into that. It all works to, you know, not screw up the writing. Which is more than I could say for a lot of summer movies this year. They leave off into the sunset with the car, and it's really funny because, like, this is the point that I realized, this movie's turning into Fritz Bueller's Day Off, and this is really fucking weird. The cops return for a second, only for a brief comedic scene, and then lost again. Pretty pointless. Once we lost them the first time in the story, we probably should have just let them stay lost. Having them come back just to literally disappear a second later. And not show up again, kinda just, let's not do that next time. I don't know why I love this line so much, but there was like this one interaction between the two, which, Duke! You just saved my life, man! And it cuts to Duke. Shit! Like, what? So Duke and Fritz arrive at a speakeasy. The speakeasy has this chick, like Big Bertha or whatever, and she's like trying to drug Fritz the entire time and like have sex with him. This is the weirdest. This is so weird. Like seeing a giant... This is a scene that I watched in this movie. A giant meaty crow woman being chased naked throughout the streets by a cat who every so often while he's running after her, oh, they're running just a few humps. And like, I'm not... This is the weirdest thing ever. Like hump running. Can we make that a sport at the next... Ring sports games. That's good. So in mid-sex, Fritz realizes that he has to start a revolution, to which he starts spouting this felt like this was the movie pushing it just to push it, because it, like, ironically when he's pushing it. So there's a huge riot in the streets because of that whole start a riot thing. The cops come back for 1 second just again to be overtaken and then never seen again for any actual point in the story. And I just want to say that this looks horrifying. This was well done. This shows the fear of police officers. This shows the horror of a riot. Really encapsulates that horrifying nature of just a mob mentality. Now, I mentioned the pool shot earlier with Duke. That comes back. Duke gets shot trying to save Fritz. Get down from the car. Gets shot, I think, by one of the cops. I don't know. Gets shot, and you just see, like, this moment of him trying to get up. And this is one of the most brutal, like, fucked up, realistic, like, painfully gritty ways I've seen a cartoon character die. Just the... Like, he's just looking down, shaking the entire time, veins, like, popping out of his neck. Like, his eyes are getting, like, overrun with, like, the bloodshot. It's just the most fucked up. And I liked the character. He's one of the only likable characters in the movie, so you really fisted our asses on that one. That was uncool. Like, you could have just killed him a different way. The way they kill Duke is a nice callback, but just a little too brutal to watch, in essence. That's really the point I'm trying to get here. He's like the only one helping Fritz the entire movie. Each heartbeat is one of the balls. It's just, and then he just dies, collapsed in blood. Thanks, movie. So Fritz doesn't know how to hide behind a wall, because there's a point in this movie where, like, guards or policemen or whatever are running by him in this horrible situation, and he's hiding, like, on this side, as they're going this way. You're never gonna see me. I'm running by you! What the fuck? Go on the other side of the wall! I get you can't see that animation-wise, but animate, like, a little of his ear sticking out, or... It's basic fucking knowledge! Don't have him in the front of the wall where people are running by. The wall. Him. People run by this way. They're going to see him. Dumb. We see the revolt turn the street into a full-on, like, battlefield of war. Wow. And, like, I mean full-on war. Sniper rifles, the United States Air Force, which, I'm not gonna lie, the Air Force scene kind of made it seem a little more comedic than it meant to be. It was handled in a way, maybe it's just, like, time, maybe it's my dark sense of humor. Not entirely sure, but, like, when they come in, it's like, dun, 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 dun. You ready? Let's go. Everyone. And it's just like this moment of just, it's probably because it happens so quick, and the way that it is, it's very stereotypical, and I think that a parody would probably do it the same way. That might be why. So a girl with glasses comes in and has, like, a setup of, like, running away and getting married with Fritz. I don't know. I have no fucking idea. The line that he convinces her to get in the trash can with was really great. Get in this trash can if you want to talk. I'm not getting into the trash can with you. Well, okay, go fuck yourself, and then just walks away. I'm not even kidding, that was the exact line. That was that one quote. Okay, go fuck yourself, and just walks away. While doing the plan and running away, they're gonna go to this area they said they wanted to go to, Fritz and that chick. They start annoying each other. They start dropping hints like, oh, well, Fritz, I want to go to this food truck, and then we can ask the food guy what life on the road is like. We can ask truckers. Let's do that. That's something we can learn about the open road. Let's go be adventurous. Let's do stuff. And she wants to play it safe. Let's go to Howard Johnson's.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Later on, the chick with the glasses gets pissed about the car breaking down, and she's like, Fritz, go help. Fritz, oh, okay, I'll go help. Starts looking, first of all, getting pissed at him right off the bat. Second of all, then he lies about the car. Oh, yeah, it's like a piston is in the drive shaft, or the shaft is, doesn't have a belt fan thing. Yeah, I'm a genius. I wrote this line during a review. I just watched a cowboy dog uncartoonishly beat chickens in a cage in the back of his car, and they actually bled. This fucking movie, man, this fucking movie. What even was the point of that scene? Was it like that like farmers are abusive? Was it abusive to animals? Like, what was the point? They're animals! Wait a minute! That's fucking freaky! That means that that's slavery. Oh my god, that's slavery. Somebody tell the crows, that shit isn't over. So Fritz winds up leaving her behind, the chick with the glasses. She tells him to go get gas down the road. He goes, oh, fine, I'll go get gas. But, like, within view, drops the fucking canister, and then, I'll show you. Charming. Very charming main character, yeah. No, he totally learned a lot. Fucking... Third act of this movie is shit. Why is it so hard to finish a movie? Third act of most of the movies I've been watching recently have been poop. Utter poop. Like, the reason he left her was, like, she was like, you need me and you know it. And they had that argument. It's like, it's kind of true, though. Fritz is kind of a fuck-up, and a lot of things he does are very self-destructive, and she seems to be giving him legitimately good advice, whether he wants to follow it or not. I mean, alcoholics want to drink alcohol, but that's their disease, so to speak. You can't literally give them that. In this case, I genuinely think she's probably slightly right in what she's saying, and the movie just doesn't double down on that. They just, yeah, no, let's go ahead and do what he's doing the whole movie. Let's have our character not change a fucking iota. So, earlier in the movie, we introduced, like, this hippo girl and this blue rabbit, and the rabbit, like, tried to leave her at, like, this hotel, and then she, like, showed the needle or whatever, and he's a drug addict, so he came back for the needle and grabbed her anyway. I mean, it's, like, this weird thing, and I didn't know where they were going with it, but Fritz winds up meeting up with them, and we meet Blue Rabbit. And so, Blue Rabbit has the single, before I even get into the story, has the single worst line delivery, and I'm probably going to say this again, and I've probably said it before. I don't mean it as much as I do right now. Good God, this is the worst line delivery ever. He at the end of each like, he has this verbal tick at the end of each thing where it's, like, supposed to be like, ha ha, or something like that, and he just says, like, ha ha. It sounds like Stephen fucking Hawking delivering lines. Oh, yes, Hippo, it will be great. Ha ha. End of that whole scene with the blue rabbit and Fritz being with them, and, like, it all culminates in them being, like, the worst group of people ever. They, like, viciously beat, and I mean with, like, chains and, like, oh, this is, like, scarring shit for me, personally. They beat the chick down, and then take turns, like, raping her. That's off screen. It's implied very, very easily. You'd have to be missing a lot to not see that. And the end is, like, them walking away. They're gonna go bomb this nuclear power plant, and fucking Fritz is just standing over her, just like, I tried to stop them, I'm sorry. Fritz comes to a realization too late about morals, because the bomb, he's basically planted there, he's like a patsy, they leave without him, or she leaves without him, and the bomb goes off right as he goes, well, you know what? I'm not doing it, man. Blows up. I'm not entirely sure what the moral is here. I do want to bring up the question. So is the moral, like, be good, simple and effective, just be good? Was it just that? Or is it supposed to be like, don't think well and act bad? Because that doesn't count. You can think all the great things in the world, but if you're doing bad, no. What you should go for, and this sounds bad, but act well and think bad. Keep those thoughts inside. Everyone has bad thoughts. Keep them as thoughts. Act well. I think that's genuinely what I got out of this. Don't think well and act bad. Act well and think bad. So the movie ends with him no-selling the bomb's damage in a fucking hospital bed, surrounded by a group of women who think he's dying, only to have, oh, surprise, let's have an orgy in the bed. So, did he really no-sell bomb damage? Is that, like, fake bandage? Or is he literally just, like, I don't care about my broken limbs, I'm just gonna bang? Like, is that a thing? I'm not entirely sure. Don't think it matters, because the main point of this ending is nothing changed. Yay! Deplorability. I love that I wrote it. Nope, none of those are the meaning. There is no message. In the end, it's just have sex. That's pretty much it. That's how the movie ends. This movie was done by Ralph Bakshi. This guy made a Lord of the Rings animated movie and didn't make heavy metal, so I don't know what's real anymore. If you can, like and subscribe, click the little arrow below, see what we're doing later in the week. It's going to be Sausage Party 6 Saturday. See what we're doing next week. And, yeah, I think we're going to start the marathon. I know I'm really bad at starting things. What are you going to do? At least I'm not movies in the summer, because then I'd be really bad at ending things. And if I was really bad at ending things, I would